You'll often hear interesting tidbits about cockroaches. They can live a week without a head, they can resist certain forms of radiation. That said, we all know the most persistent cockroach is Linda Sarsour. It's like we can't get away from this woman. Everywhere I turn, there she is. And we have an increasingly awkward situation where one of the most notable progressives in the United States is a goddamn Islamist. She's effectively latched herself onto anyone who's anyone in that movement, even helping push them through to Congress. People like Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez endorse this woman and count her as a pivotal ally. Amidst seeing Sarsour pop up in all of these publicity photos, I also saw a clip of her being spread around. This is from a speech I've talked about in a previous video. I'll make sure to link that down below. At the time, I simply referred to a transcript of the speech because for whatever reason, I couldn't find this clip. Now I do have it, and definitely think it needs to be heard. My reading of the speech could never do it justice.
Palestine is a human rights and social justice issue. It is an American issue because your taxpayer dollars are used. So whether or not you think the electoral process is the way in which to help solve the Palestinian issue, maybe you think it's other ways, protesting, online campaigns, humanitarian, the strategy's fine and we're all going to be on different sides of the strategy. But in my opinion, on an issue like Palestine, you got to choose the side of the oppressed. And if you're on the side of the oppressor, or you're defending the oppressor, or you're actually trying to humanize the oppressor, then that's a problem, sisters and brothers, and we got to be able to say that is not the position of the Muslim American community.
Ah, what a charming woman. Something else I found pertinent was this user commenting on photos of Sarsour with Omar and Tlaib. He says, "You all know what's going on here, right? Muslim identitarians with suspicious motives taking political office? Pretty much." Then enter Kyle Kulinski, who quotes that tweet and says, "Oh no, is it creeping Shakira law?" The guy who runs a channel called Secular Talk is minimizing Islamism and theocratic advocacy. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to announce Kyle as our latest addition to the Hall of Porch Atheists. We are talking about a woman who has openly praised the idea of theocracy, claimed it to be superior to American society, and Kyle's cracking dad jokes like the worthless hack we all know him to be. Fitting. Anytime Linda Sarsour is seen grifting, all of these points should be brought up. Her endorsement should mean the end of whatever movement she gives her blessing to. She is not fringe, at least not in this movement. She's front and center. And despite widespread protests against her, it's just not coming from the base. The progressive base doesn't seem to take issue with her at all. And that's become increasingly alarming. And now I will leave you with a word from the man most known for stomping cockroaches. It's Billy Bong. Check out his channel and give him a sub.
Hello Nightmare Fuel fans and haters, my name's Billy Bong. Reese recently contacted me and wanted me to make a little clip for him about Linda Sarsour, and I thought, wow, this would be good because I've never done anything on her before, and I'd love to try something fresh and new. Now I say that jokingly because I've done over a dozen videos on her in the last 3 years on my channel, so I understand why he knocked on my door. He wanted me to touch on Linda's recent involvement with Democratic politics and recently elected progressive and Muslim congresswomen. And luckily I so happened to find a video where Linda basically shows her true colors. And I'm going to try to go through this real quick because I don't want to take up 10 minutes on Reese's channel because I could do that easily with this woman. So let's go to the clip of what Linda said right after the midterm elections about the Democratic Party.
there's a fear, there's a politics of fear, and what Democrats do immediately when there's politics of fear coming from opposition is they cower. They stay away from the Palestinians, they stay away from the leftists, they stay away from the socialists, they stay away from those of us who are actually creating the momentum and the energy that is on the ground, right? So, for example, in a lot of these races, there was this socialism became a bad word, right? But it is actually a lot of Democratic socialist women who went to Congress. Ilhan Omar is a Democratic socialist. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is a socialist. Rashida Tlaib is a Democratic socialist. So let's remember who is getting elected by who and what on what platform. The other thing I'm going to tell the Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party, like, I'm not their people. I vote Democrat as harm reduction. I don't vote Democrat because I'm so excited and honored to be part of the Democratic Party, because the Democratic Party is also doesn't have a foreign policy platform that works for us and works for young people, works for anti-war folks, and works for people like me.
Alright, that's a lot of words for 40 seconds. Let's get to the main parts of it that matter. Linda Sarsour is basically telling the Democratic Party, you have to become progressive, you have to become more progressive, and you have to be far left. She's saying we're the people on the ground and we know how to run shit, you guys don't, that's why you lost. It's funny, I knew she was gonna name the big three: Omar, Ocasio-Cortez, and Tlaib. These are the people that people like Linda are promoting. Why? Because the progressive agenda is not making everything equal for everyone and moving towards a more equal society. It's all about, to her, putting people of color to the forefront and religious people of color, and particularly those religious people of color from the religion of Islam. Don't believe me? What did she say herself? The Democrats aren't my people.
Because the Democratic Party, like, I'm not their people. I vote Democrat as harm reduction. I don't vote Democrat because I'm so excited and honored to be part of the Democratic Party.
Her people are the people of Islam. Now, I know what you're going to say. Oh no, she's a progressive. She's for all minorities and everyone. But the main objective is Islam. She'll have the people believe that it's just progressivism in general, you know, feminism and all that. And in the same breath, she'll tell you Muhammad was a feminist and an activist. I forget which one of those two Muslim congresswomen are proposing a bill to let women wear hijab in Congress. So much for our secular Congress. We have to throw our religion in your face now while we discuss politics. But Linda's main objective is to have a world or a nation where Muslims come out on top. You heard her mention foreign policy. They don't have the right foreign policy for us. You know what that means? That means we don't want you in wars with Arab and Muslim nations. That's what that means. If you couldn't read between the lines, don't worry, I'll do it for you. And she's gonna buddy up with these progressives and so-called progressive types, these Muslim congresswomen, to get to a point where Islam is put on a pedestal, just like Christianity, or above it. Linda Sarsour has always said she's a Muslim first. Now, Linda buddying up with these types of politicians are nothing new. She did it with the mayor of New York City already, Bill de Blasio. She's been buddy-buddy with him and Bernie Sanders for years now. All three of them in New York City running around, shoehorning in progressive bullshit into Democratic politics. Why is that not a good thing? Let's say you don't believe it's all about Islam for her. She's just a fear-mongerer.
So I'm imploring people in the Democratic Party to get away from the consultants and to let the party be led by those in the resistance. The resistance leaders know, we know how to get to the people. We know what the platform is, and we're the ones knocking on the doors. We know what works for people. So don't say this one's too radical, this one's this, because that's exactly what's going to happen in 2020. They're going to start marginalizing us, right? We don't want to touch this. We don't want to touch. And guess what happens? 4 more years of fascism, maybe 20 more years of fascism in this country. So I'm really scared. I'm not going to lie to you.
So yeah, people in the Democratic Party, hand over your platform to us. Hand over your party to us. Because you know what? We don't want 4 more years of fascism, if not 20. And I'm really scared. No matter what you think of Trump, hate him, love him, whatever, we're not under fascist rule right now. She's a fear-mongerer. She's bad for politics. She's just bad. But don't forget, the majority of her activism is in Muslim rights activist groups. Groups like ISNA and CARE. And this will always be her main priority, no matter what she leads you to believe. Take it easy, guys.
But in my opinion, on an issue like Palestine, you got to choose the side of the oppressed. And if you're on the side of the oppressor, or you're defending the oppressor, or you're actually trying to humanize the oppressor, then that's a problem, sisters and brothers. And we got to be able to say that is not the position of the Muslim American community.